What's up, everybody? Getting into this episode of GH. Listen, I get where TJ coming from with Brando. Like Sasha, people grieve in their own way, which is true. They do. But I don't blame Brando for being, concerned. I mean, we all know Sasha got that problem you know, that she was addicted to that little white powder at one point. So I don't blame him for being concerned. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, losing a child would send anybody back into addiction. That's enough to send you back doing that shit. I'm just saying, like, let's be honest. I agree with TJ though. I mean, yeah, people grieve in their own way, but from what Brando's been seeing of her, it seems like she's not grieving at all. Not publicly, except for that little breakdown she had when she first went back to the office. And everybody saw how uncomfortable and upset she was when they brought the baby in. You know what I mean? I thought she was gonna do some coke right then and there in the bathroom when she pulled out something. I was like, okay. But ain't nothing wrong with him reaching out to her and stuff. Trying to keep her close and move on from the situation. Try. That's all Brando could do. So he ended up sending her a text message or whatever, inviting her out to dinner. And of course, she up in yoga or whatever. And that's another thing I agree with TJ. Like when you go through things like this, you do need an outlet. You know, something to get your emotions out and stuff like that. So her going to yoga is a good start, but I do feel like she professionally needs to talk to somebody. But you can't force that. You can't force somebody to go to therapy or nothing like that. They gotta want to get help. They gotta want to talk to somebody. You can't force them to open up. And that's basically what Sasha's getting annoyed by because she's sitting here in yoga trying to relax and meditate and stuff like that. And here come Gladys. Gladys, I felt like was coming from a good place, but she was being a little annoying. Like she just kept doing all of this, and Sasha was like, "Can you stop? We're in yoga. Like, be quiet. I'm trying to meditate. I'm trying to be mindful." Um, but even Gladys noticed that she been pushing Brando away, keeping him at arm's length, and not dealing with the loss of the child. So I totally get where Gladys is coming from, but again, you can't force her to get help, and it's to the point now where Sasha don't even want to be around Gladys. She probably not gonna want to be around Brando right now because she just can't take all the smothering, all of that pep talk and all that. She just don't want to hear that, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I think they're coming on a little bit too strong. It's like change up your approach a bit. Um, because even when she saw the text from Brando, she, inviting her to dinner, she basically ignored the text. Like, she didn't even want to look at it. And that's her prerogative, She just dealing with it however she needs to deal with it. And, Maxie at this point is sick and tired of people trying to force her to do stuff she don't want to do. Because her mother keep trying to get her to, go back to Pawtuck and go back to, the cabin in the woods and stuff like that where she gave birth to try to help her with the baby situation, even though she already know. But that's why I wish that Maxie would confide in her family. It's like they're gonna help you. You know what I mean? They're gonna keep the secret. There's no way Felicia or Anna or anybody will let that secret come out until they deal with Peter. You know what I mean? Like they will protect her. So it's crazy that she's not willing to open up to none of them about it. Not Robert, not Mac, none of them. And that's ridiculous to me. And now she getting mad because they're looking for the child. Of course they're gonna look for the child. Of course they will. You know? And she just pissed off that people keep looking and stuff. I'm like, what do you expect them to do? There's a child out there that they think is missing. Of course they're gonna look, fool. Like they're not gonna let the child be missing, for the rest of the, for her life. Like, no. That's her grandchild. She gonna want to know where her grandchild is. Maxie need to just come on and tell them the truth. Um, stop this shenanigans. So anyway, moving on from that. Um, so apparently Jax, I guess, has allowed BLQ and Chase to move into his old house. I'm glad they're doing that. I'm very happy that they're doing that. That they're letting BLQ and Chase use that set because when they thought Jax was going to be around long term and stuff, they had built that set for him or got the set for him. I'm glad they're not letting it go to waste. Good. Put it to use, and I'm glad they are. So, Jax is going to let them stay in his house rent free. He's not charging them for anything, which I think is pretty dope. So Dante and Finn were helping them move in and stuff. I felt bad for BLQ when Chase was having that conversation with Dante about his feelings for her. I felt like he was being as honest could be. Like, I think he likes her, but he doesn't know how BLQ feels about him. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't even think he's her type, especially with the way that she be acting towards him sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, one minute she want him around, next minute she don't. She make it seem like he's bothering her, he's annoying her. So he don't know really how to feel or how to act. You know, plus he was thrown off by her past, you know, all the shenanigans she done pulled over the years. So he don't really know like what to feel. And you could tell she was hurt by his conversation with Dante. She looked hurt. As soon as Dante left or whatever, she basically told Chase, like, you ain't gotta stay. She was like, you can go, you know, go live your life. And he was just exasperated, like, he don't know what to make of her. Like, he really don't. One minute he think they're cool and they're getting along, next minute it's like she's pushing him out the damn door. So it's like she need to start being honest with him about how she feel, you know, so that way he can be more honest with her about how he feel, because I do believe he like her, but with her little frosty attitude, he can't tell, you know, he can't read her. So she need to get together and just tell that man how she feeling. So anyway, I love how Portia basically was trying to help Terry out, you know what I mean, with the dating apps and stuff. Because I agree, you know, Liz, she moving on with her life. She got a date with Finn. Portia and Curtis are solid. So I like how Portia was trying to help her out. You know what I mean? But I definitely felt I felt where Terry was coming from when it comes to them dating apps. I felt it. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of them dating apps are just a waste of time. Boy, don't I know it. I've been on quite a few, and trust, it's a waste. I'm not giving up though, and nor should she. You know, you'll find somebody like try, you know, Christian Mingle, or you know, they got a bunch of them little cool little dating apps or whatever. Some are good. You know, she definitely shouldn't give up. I want to see her get in a relationship. I don't know who they could put her with though. That's my only thing. Like, who could they pair her up with that's available? I don't know. Like, what about her and Drew? You know what I'm saying? The possibilities. You know, she could be with Drew. I want her to find somebody because I like her character. I want to flesh her out more though. I wish that they would flesh Dr. Randolph out a bit more. Like, we don't know a whole lot about her background other than her and Liz being friends from back in the day. But I want to know more about her. Like, do she got siblings, parents? Flesh her out. You know what I'm saying? If she's gonna be co-chief of staff, we should know more about the girl. I'm just saying, I want to know more about her. So anyway, moving on from that, Liz was so freaking nervous about her date with Finn and stuff. Like, she's just so unsure about this because of the whole ring popping up in her locker. She just feels like something bad is gonna happen on the date. Like, it's gonna be a bad omen that maybe her and Finn shouldn't be together. I'm like, she need to get all that craziness out her mind and move on with her life. So she ended up going there, and of course, Epiphany is there with Marshall, and you know, they was all talking for a quick second. So Finn popped up, you know, and they started talking. I love it because, you know, he was like, so do I ask you all those first date cliches and stuff like that? And then he was asking her about her parents and stuff. So she was like, you know, they got along and stuff until they shipped her off to live with her grandmother. And then after that, she didn't really have a relationship with them. And, you know, she was like, Franco always tried to heal that relationship, but that's one of the few things that they argued about. I hate that Liz feels like she has to apologize to Finn every time she brings up Franco. It's like, you don't have to apologize. Like, you just lost your husband a year ago, almost a full year. You know, March, I think, would be a full year that Franco's been gone. You know what I mean? It's like she needs to stop apologizing for it. That man was a part of her life. You know, she wants to move on. I get it. You know what I mean? But he's always going to be a fixture in her life. That was her husband. You know? And it's gonna come a time where she's gonna stop talking about Franco or whatever so much, but it's like, you know, it's still fresh. You know what I mean? It just happened a year ago. It's fresh, you know, so you're gonna talk about him. And she shouldn't have to apologize because clearly Finn doesn't mind. You know, I mean, Finn doesn't talk about his wife. You know, remember Finn was married before his wife died. He don't really talk about her because it's been years, you know, since she's been gone. You know what I'm saying? With Elizabeth, it's only been 1 year. It's like you're well within your rights to bring him up every now and then. You know, don't feel sorry about it. You know, it's sometimes it's therapeutic to tell those stories and stuff. You got to, you know, that's how you heal and that's how you move on. It helps you, you know, to talk about it. So anyway, Marshall and Epiphany over there talking and whatnot, and he keep badgering her about why she never became a doctor. And basically because, it was a dream of hers, but back in those days when she was, growing up and going through high school and all that stuff, it wasn't many, black female doctors. Really wasn't a whole lot. So it was kind of like all you could do sometimes is dream when it came to stuff like that back in those days. So she settled on being a nurse and stuff like that, and I get it. It ain't never too late for her to become a doctor if that's really what she want right now. It ain't too late. It ain't never too late. I don't care what dream you had back in the day, you can still have that dream as long as you got breath in your body. And as soon as Epiphany was asking him about, his relationship with Curtis, Marshall done stood up and started having a damn heart attack. I said, now, is this real or is he faking? Because this would be like the third time he done faked something medical. So I wondered if he was faking about it because he didn't want to talk about it. So they done had to rush him to the hospital. Thank God Liz and Finn were there. You got a bunch of nurses and doctors there with you. So, they got him to the hospital and stuff. And of course, Portia called Curtis to come down there. Speaking of Curtis, him and Drew were talking about the situation, and he was like, basically it's a possibility that Marshall was in witness protection or whatever. But my thing is, if Marshall really was in witness protection, they could ask Laura to look into it because she is the mayor, so she would have access to certain things, or they could ask Anna to look into it. Discreetly, of course, not to blow his cover, but I think he took a hell of a leap. If he was in witness protection, he took a hell of a risk coming to Port Charles to see his family. That's a risk. Especially using his real name, that's a risk. So I can understand why Drew was like, basically cautioning him and stuff like that because you don't want to blow the man cover if he was in witness protection because if you go digging around, people that he's running from might find out where he is. I get it. But Curtis has a right still to be cautious of the man, because he ain't a truth teller. So I could definitely understand that. So anyway, that was pretty much the whole episode. It was a pretty like cool little laid back episode today. Hit the comment section, let me know what you guys thought, and I will see you all later. Have a great day. Peace.